Howdy, howdy, and welcome to My Bloody Judy with your final forgets, myself, Zachary Patton Garcia.
And Ian Carlos Crawford.
Okay. So, Ian and I have Halloween Kills came out on, I thought it was Friday, Thursday. People were seeing it Monday, so I don't fucking know when it came out. But Ian and I's homework was to each individually watch it, and then we were not going to say anything to each other. We were not going to give our thoughts or nothing. I told him, keep your ass off of the Twitter. Do not say anything. Nothing. This is going to be a different sort of episode where we are going into it without having heard each other's thoughts, like, at all. So, watching it, I was thinking, I don't think he liked it.
And watching it, I was like, I see where Zach's going to make allowances for this movie.
Okay. Yes. So, your initial thoughts.
This movie is garbage. That's my initial thoughts. I thought it was an embarrassment of riches, of wasted potential, wasted plot lines, wasted actors, wasted characters, and like became like painful to watch. And then the moment I was like, oh, maybe I like this, they undid the thing that I liked. And but yes, what were your thoughts?
Okay. Well, I feel like I just got shot in the heart, man. So let's just real quick disclaimer: there are spoilers. So spoilers from here on out. And you're listening to My Bloody Judies. You're gonna listen to us bitch about a bunch of stuff. I wasn't the biggest fan either. But I have a lot of things I'm making allowances for, just like you said. I think it wasn't nearly as bad the second watch. I watched it right before we did it. We're recording now, so it wasn't nearly as bad the second time. But sitting in the theater, I left with a little disappointment in my stomach. And I mean, you know, movies are not made for me specifically, right? The world doesn't revolve around me, but like, I still felt a little cheated. I felt like some things were taken away from me. However, that being said, I think like I wanted to lead into this conversation with this movie was an absolute mess. I didn't think it was garbage. I didn't think it was trash, but I thought it was a messy room with shit everywhere. It did give me everything that I wanted, just about everything that I wanted. Not everything. It gave me just about everything that I said I wanted. You know, I wanted the kills, I wanted the mob, I wanted all of this stuff. I wanted Kyle Richards, just in the messiest way that they could have done it, you know? And that's where my sort of disappointment comes in, is that it was so messy, Ian. Like, it was like, I feel like it could, before the DVD comes out, maybe they should go re-edit it. I feel like they could edit it into a good movie. We've got stuff there.
The pacing was bananas.
Oh, goodness. And so okay. Let's just go into kind of some of the stuff. Laurie Strode, I think like Laurie Strode is like, you know, her and Michael Myers are the big faces of this thing. And they really hyped Laurie Strode up in this. And we knew that she was probably going to be hospitalized for the most of it. So I wasn't surprised.
You and I did say that like in like every recording that we figured she would be.
Absolutely. So I wasn't surprised there.
Yeah.
But they stuck her ass in the hospital and gave her like 50 fucking monologues. She would not shut up. And I love Laurie Strode.
See, I thought that stuff, I did genuinely think that wouldn't have bothered you, because I was like, oh, but he loves her so much. But yeah. Like, ugh.
There were certain things I was okay with, right? Like, I didn't even mind the little scene of her between her and Frank, where she's like, you know, that night in the bar, like, that could have been fine. You know, if it was a little earlier, maybe when he first got in there or something like that. But it just got, like, I think this is where, for me, the movie kind of lacks and really suffers, is that if they have a point to make, they make it 50 times throughout the movie. They all say the exact same lines. I didn't even mind, like, Evil Dies Tonight, because the mob mentality, if you have a slogan, that's what your slogan's gonna be, right? But, like, how many people did we have to hear say 40 years ago this happened? Like, I get the fucking story, I get the lore, I understand it. I am this is the 12th movie, I have been here every movie. Like, I get it.
Yeah. Yes. I actually am surprised. I knew you would be disappointed, but I thought you would be more like, I'm let down, but everything was great. I thought you would be more positive about it. because so I watched it over Zoom with Laz Marquez, who has been on our show before. And we had a phone call after, and I didn't tell you this before recording. So he was like, I don't want you and Zach to fight about this because that's his favorite franchise. You can't say you didn't like it. And I was like, no, he kind of likes when I'm like, I'm the grump. But Laz also, Laz and Adam Sass were two people I had phone calls with over the weekend to talk about it because they both like really hated it.
Yeah.
Adam felt a little bit more like you do, where like there were good things, but like the way it was put out was bad, which I also agree with. Like Adam was saying, like it still could have been good with what they had. They just didn't like the like storytelling of it wasn't like good. Also, this is totally off subject, but Zach, your beard is looking full. Look at you.
I'm telling you, man. And he makes fun of this little part that don't grow in. It's growing in. It's coming.
You like turned your head and I noticed it.
Yeah, I don't turn that way though. Just one way. I'm getting preparing for Haddonfield. We got to go hunt Michael Myers. Yeah, the story just it's there. Like I see it. I see it under all of this like slush that we have. They should have just kind of simplified it a little bit because it's like I like the idea of the mob mentality. I like the idea of like Michael has kind of created this just through his actions. I don't need everybody to explain it to me. Just show me. Just show me what's happening.
Yeah, there was so
here.
much of like every time characters had a scene, they would explain it. It's like we already heard this,
and I don't need it explained. Everything was explained, and you know what? It didn't start off bad, right? Like we have this opening scene, and it's
Oh, I thought the opening was like so clunky.
Cameron, you think? Or are you talking about the flashback too?
The flashback.
Oh no! Okay, so we might argue here. I thought the flashback was great. I thought it was so cool. That was a scene in the original or in the 2018 one that I really wanted to see because they talked about Hawkins like having been there to apprehend Michael. And I thought the 78 scene felt really cool. It felt like, like a 70s movie. It was just a little glossier, and it felt really nice to me. It felt really Halloween-y, and it was something really for the fans. They repeated that flashback scene over and over. They kept adding on to it. They kept, like, flashing back to a flashback scene. And it was like, what the fuck are we even doing here? Like, what are we doing? This is, here's another thing. Okay, so, all over the place, man.
I know, I'm loving this.
I don't, because I have a lot of emotion over this one. I don't want anybody to be listening to this and be like, oh, he hated it. I don't want to listen to somebody, just bash a movie for 45 minutes. We're not going to do that. We're going to do that, but we're also we'll get there. We'll get to the good stuff. So
I do have like 2 or 3 good things to say.
Do you? I'm hoping so. It's just like I think it needs a re-edit. I think they could even make a good movie out of what they have. It was shot well. It looks cool. We see our people. We see our people. I loved Kyle Richards in it. The little bit of time she had, I bring her back for Halloween Ends. She's earned her place.
She was great.
I
couldn't believe how great she was either, right?
Yeah,
like I was surprised.
When they find her after like she'd been hiding, like she
was
like,
good.
I loved that. I was like, you're so awesome. And when she, what I fucking loved was when she goes and like screams at the kids to run away and then like starts like stuffing the pillowcase with bricks. Like fuck yeah, man. Because everybody else in that fucking car was incompetent. So goodness, what are their names?
I kept hearing you say, like, from one of our recordings, and you're like, hope we don't have to see Marion Chambers get a throat slit again. And then it was like the worst death. Like,
yeah, like poor Marion Chambers. Don't ever bring this woman back again. Don't do this to her.
Leave her be.
She could have gone home. Just been fine for the rest of the movie.
Like, oh, Michael's here. Let me drive back home. I know I'm not going to be helpful.
Yeah, and I did not like my. Is it Michael C. Hall? Anthony C. Hall? It's Michael C. Hall, I think. Whoever played Tommy.
Isn't it Anthony Michael Hall?
Anthony Michael Hall. I don't fucking know. Whoever played Tommy Doyle, I did not like him.
I didn't like him either. I thought you would like him.
Nope. He was in the wrong movie. He was in the wrong movie. I thought the guy who played Lonnie Lamb was really good, and I would have rather have seen him as Tommy Doyle.
Anthony Michael Hall, yes.
Okay, Anthony Michael Hall, yeah. Lindsay, great, and I liked seeing the nurse and the doctor. I wish I knew their names. It's like Vanessa and something. Hold on.
Vanessa and Marcus.
Yes. Okay. I
I have the
liked
IMDb
seeing
on my
them
phone.
back. And I liked her being like the ballsy chick who like knows how to handle the gun and stuff. But then they
Yeah.
fuck it up. It's like she I had confidence in her. I had a lot of confidence in her. And then Michael just taps the door, I guess, and she just
And she
hey,
that
shoot
reminded me
yourself.
of I was like, Zach knows I hate this. Cause like I hate
Yeah.
a fucking accidental death in a horror movie. Like
Mm.
that always feels cheap to me. And especially like you said, she was like the confident one, the bold one. And it was like, cool, like she's gonna shoot him and die, but at least she'll get some like good shots in. But then
Mm.
he like bumps the door into her and she kills herself. Like,
Yeah, and we didn't even like get to see her like be a badass or anything. Like just leave
yeah,
her alive. Again, just leave her alive. Like erase her from the movie because what they did that I didn't mind is like jump around through the town and like we pick up on these different town folk. I didn't mind that because like this is the Haddonfield movie. You know, this is the middle chapter Haddonfield movie. We could have just seen her left somewhere and it would have made sense, you know?
yeah.
Um
Like she gets
uh
shot in the shoulder, maybe, and then like, okay, she can
fucking
live.
something, man. Just runs. Maybe her and Lindsay are hiding under the bridge, you know?
Yeah.
Um, who else? Who else is there? I really liked Andy Matichak, who played Allison. I thought she gave a really good performance. I thought she was good. What'd you think? Mm. Eh.
I know. So I feel like all of the problems I had with 2018, which I did like I just had problems with it, were like tenfold in this movie.
Yeah.
I every issue I had was like made worse for this
Hmm.
movie. And like I did like 2018. I just had issues with it. I think it's like a flawed movie, but like there is a good movie there, and like there are really good scenes. This felt like, I mean, I know I'm a broken record here, but why did we erase all these other movies?
Hmm.
Marion Chambers saying this is for Loomis makes no sense if it only happened once. It would make
Yeah.
sense if it happened a zillion times, right?
And
Like,
I think I've come around to your sort of way of thinking on this part is that the impact would have been more there and people would have gotten this riled up had it been like one and two, you know, all of
yeah,
this
at
these
least.
people.
Yeah.
And they really feel like a sense of evil in this town. But yeah, I do keep thinking about like it was three victims, was just awful, you know, like
Right.
the
But
the part where they introduced Tommy and Lindsay in the bar, and you know they're like, let's raise a glass to the victims 40 years ago because that was an impactful thing in their lives.
right.
I get it, I understood it, that was fine. But for the town to have gone this fucking bananas, like maybe two should have been left in there.
Like definitely too. Like the thing is, you easily could do the H2O route of like things have happened, but we don't need to like exactly say, you know what I mean? Like it is
Hmm.
very easy to say like those movies, we're not talking about them, but like Michael Myers has attacked this town a bunch of times. You know what I mean? Like, and even going through them, like people have tweeted us like, oh, Ian, you still gonna defend that theory? I fucking do. Like, I still defend that theory.
I've seen people say that. I'm still okay with the retcon. I just like would have added two in there. I guess it was just you know the brother sister thing was the hardest part. I guess because I really enjoyed when somebody finally told like Lori and Karen that it's not about Lori. No, he doesn't care about you. Like
Yeah.
he's not on his way here. I did think Karen was really good in a lot of parts here.
Yeah.
Um, and
Karen and Lindsay were the only people with
yeah.
brains in this movie.
I think it felt more like the first one was Laurie's story. This one's Karen's story. Maybe the next one will be Allison's.
Yeah.
Because they gave Karen a lot to do here, and she kind of rose up to the challenge. And we also predicted that Karen was gonna kick it.
But like, ugh, the way she did was so stupid. It wasn't even a cool death.
Yeah, I'm still a little iffy on that. So and with Michael, this is like the transcendence of Michael, right? This is Michael like evolving into another being, which I was under the assumption that they were going to leave him human because that's what they hyped up in 2018 so much. And
He's
again, if he's
this
not going to be human, just bring back two, you know, or
right. This team has talked so much shit about how we understand those movies. Like, we get it. We're not going to do this. And I was waiting for the Blackthorn to show up by that last act. Like, I was
shut the fuck up.
what? Are we like getting to that? Because that's what it feels like. They kept talking about how he's like the super being, and then they like beat the shit out of him and like stab
Yeah.
his neck, and he just gets right back up and murders everybody. Like, I felt like they were two steps away from saying the reason is the Black Thorn. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And you know what? That's fine. Like for me, Halloween is scariest when he is just a man in a mask. But if you want to make him like a super being, that's
Right.
fine. Just do it. Just do it, and I don't want an explanation. I do not care about explanation. I don't want to know why it's happening. That he's like staring at himself in the mirror, like or in the window reflection. Like I don't care. I don't care. I liked his first kind of shot where he's walking out of the burning house. I thought that was like almost him
Yeah.
being like spit out of hell, like he's
Mhm.
walking out of hell. I thought that was really fucking cool, and kind of like was like the rebirth of Michael Myers in a way, because in this one he is like an action star, you know, like he's got moves that we didn't see before. So I didn't mind that. And then at the end, what do you think about the ending with him and Karen? Because he you don't think he teleported up there? Like he didn't like.
But right, how did he bloop up there so fast?
Yeah, and around everybody, because people would be around there. Like Alistair said, well, he just went through the back door, but I would assume that there would be people walking around, kind of trying to count bodies,
Yeah,
or see like who's there.
it's a crime scene, so like,
Yeah. So I didn't get how he got up there. If they are making him like the spirit of Halloween, I'm okay with that. I could deal with that. I think the spirit of Halloween idea would actually be really cool. And he like goes up there and like stabs Karen, I guess, in the same spot that he stabbed Judith, and I was like 50-50 on that part. I don't know. I didn't hate
which is
it.
like, I felt like, what is going on? Like, I thought it was, I for a second I thought it was just like in Karen's mind,
Hmm.
but then we end with like her body falling on the ground and like seeing her face dead. So I was like, oh, I guess, because it, like you said, it didn't make sense. Like, how did he get? Like, I know, like, whatever, he's, you know, in Scream we do this, in every slasher we do this, where the killer
Yeah.
just is like, can move fast, but this movie was like very much like the town is there, these
Yeah.
people are all around, so it just felt weird that suddenly he's like blooping up in that bedroom. Like,
Well, and to be fair, we still have to see what happens in the next one. If they completely erase that and they're like, he's not a mystical whatever, I will be pissed, because it's okay. Like it's okay if that's where you want to go with it. Like be confident and like
do
do
it,
it.
yeah.
Do it, because like, you know, they started introducing all of this stuff that where, you know, he gets up and he finally like cannot be killed for officially anymore, and like just fucking fine. But like I'm going to like the next one, I really like the next one's gonna make or break this trilogy for me. My goodness, what other characters do we have? We have like, I don't
So
know.
we gotta talk about the gay couple. They got
Oh my god, what do you think about the gay couple? Because me and Alistair were arguing over this one too.
Wait, I'm curious what you
Fucking
think.
hated them. I fucking
really?
hated them. Yeah, did you like them?
I mean, I didn't feel, I thought it was very stupid to live in a house where you know the lore of the house. Yeah.
Mhm.
A thing that, so Adam Sass and I talked about this, and a thing that Adam kept pointing out was like, no, like it's set in modern times. These people would like have their phones. Like they would have known
Yeah.
pretty quickly that like this like murderer is on the loose. I just didn't like them being like, let's pick up our charcuterie knives and go investigate. Like, no, get your cell phones, get your fucking dogs or whatever, and get out of the house and call the police. Like that's, if you live in that house, that would be, that was like the stupid part to me. If maybe they just heard a bump and they didn't know what it was, and they're like, oh, what was that? Or like they have a dog, so they go up to see if it's their dog, and then they die. But like the investigating, I was like, I don't know that gays would have been like.
And it was the way they kind of did it too. So I don't know, like David Gordon Green and Danny McBride, neither of them are like gay, right? They're not like bi or anything. So this felt like more like, you know, what the jokey gays would be. Like that's what it felt like. Even the Big John, Little John, they did not just call each other John at all. It was always, even at his death, Big John.
Right.
I'm like, I'm not called Big Alistair. Big Daddy, you know,
Right.
whatever he's saying. Like,
You're crying over his body. You say the real, you don't say like a cutesy name. Like,
and it's totally realistic that the gays would have bought the Myers house.
Oh,
And,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
fixed
yeah.
it up. I loved that. I thought that was so cool. And I like Michael McDonald because he was like in Mad TV back in the day. You know, he was funny. But it just, every time they were there, it kind of felt like a joke. Like the gays were the joke of the town, or not of the town, but like of the movie. You know, they were getting the little bazinga, you know. Like it could have been like the Halloween 5 music with the cops. It's what it felt like. I didn't like how they
I am surprised at this reaction, Zach. This is the reaction I feel like people would expect from me.
I know. I'm just like, maybe on a third watch I'll love it, and then we'll have to redo it. And I'll be like, I love that. It just felt like, you know what, a big problem. Okay, I think in my head maybe I've narrowed it down, is that nobody acts like this in this movie. Like any decisions that are made, like Allison screaming, "What?" I could have pissed myself laughing. I was really trying not to like, because the theater was really quiet after that happened, and I really wanted to laugh. But like, nobody acts like that. Nobody acts like any of these that makes any of these sorts of decisions. You know, like
It felt like for a town that has a mob that can get that riled up over one string of killings that happened 40 years ago, for them also to also be so stupid about it did feel like a little like I was like, why are Karen and Lindsay Wagner the only smart people in this fucking town? And like, you and I live in the suburbs. Yes, of course, there are small towns with lots of fucking stupid people, but it just felt like unbalanced of like the quick to be like, yes, Michael is the killer. We need to murder him. And like other people being like, well, let's just go look for him. And it's like, why are you fucking going by yourself to look for this man who you know can smush your skull? Like,
so I don't mind people like getting really riled up and wanting to go look for him and stuff like that. It seemed for the most part they were doing it in groups. Nobody was really doing it on their own. Like
Lonnie went by himself.
Save for the couple people. Yes, there are a couple people who did it. As far as like the town, I liked that. I liked it being like this fucking like we're hunting fucking Michael Myers, and they could have really like done that really well. I think there was a lot that could have been cut out and like shaped up, and this could have been an hour and 20 like just balls to the wall like fast roller coaster movie, you know? And I would have been fine with that. When they are all in the hospital and like Laurie comes out of her room and you know it's getting crazier and crazier and like the levels going up and they've got the guy in the mental institution like in there and somebody says it's Michael and Laurie's like and everybody's like looking and it's like it's Michael, is it him and I really enjoyed that. And then when Laurie says oh it's not him and she's trying to stop everybody but like nobody's fucking listening to her at this point and she like nearly gets trampled and like that was like insane. And then what do? They cut away from the scene instead of like allowing that tension to keep going.
There's too much of that. Yeah.
Just let the whole scene play and then let us like sit there like, oh fuck, you know, let us like what just happened. Instead, now we cut to like, you know, Big John, Little John, and then we're cutting to Laurie in her room and she's giving another monologue and like, it's like, what are we doing here? We even cut to a 78 flashback during that. We cut to a 78 flashback, man.
I also thought that felt very stupid. That like it was very weird that Sheriff Brackett didn't come in or have a line till like what, like an hour or like longer. He doesn't talk till they like see that body.
It was no. He was there. It was just like it was so chaotic that I could.
But he doesn't
like see it. Yeah.
But he doesn't like have a line, right?
Because when she first comes in, when Laurie first comes in, yeah, he says something.
But I thought that was weird that like he is very like this is clearly not that man. I was like, but why weren't more people saying that? Like this man is shaped like Danny DeVito. That is not what Michael Myers is shaped like.
Okay, maybe they could have used like a different because there were tons of like mental patients like running around. They could have
used one that's shaped like Michael.
But I did like people not even questioning whether it was really Michael. They just believed it was Michael and they went after him and like I felt that because that could totally happen in our world. I could see that happening. I'm like, it's fucking insane. They just like ruined the momentum of the scene. I thought it was just the editing.
Well, and I thought like that, like them all, like the chaos was good, but then I thought the payoff was so bad. I thought that like weird music and the slow motion of him just smashing the window and jumping out of it. I was like, what are we doing here? And then Sheriff Brackett like says out loud the subtext of, we've become the monsters. It's like, no fucking shit. That's what we got. Like, I get it.
Don't say it. Exactly. Like, we've seen it. We just watched it. We watched it and we understand why you guys are all riled up. We get it. Yeah. We get it. You don't have to explain that it's because Michael's influence or whatever. Now we're decent people are evil. I fucking get it. Yes. The slow-mo parts were like really weird. If they would have just kept it at normal pace and he'd have like jumped out of the window, or maybe they just like beat him to death. I know that's really dark and I know that's like, maybe
that would have seemed less dramatic. I don't know,
but it would have been it would have been more realistic. It would have been like it felt like then here comes the melodrama and we've got his hair's blowing in the wind and he goes down. The shot of him going down was really cool when you see the hands and like
we did not need to see that weird puppet body though. Like the of like the smush. I was like, all right, like
It is, yeah, like it they could have even like all of the people gotten into that little room that he was in and then maybe like surrounded him and then it cuts away and then it comes back and then he's like just dead on the floor. Like I would have
right.
gotten it. Like they beat him to death and this, they fucked up. They fucked up. It's just like that's what I'm saying here, man. And is that they have all of these really good ideas and good setup, and then the payoff is not there, or the
It's just
execution.
the yeah, like the emotional beat wasn't there. Like I do agree with you. The way they shot him falling, where you see it's like from his eyes, that was cool. But like the like surround and also like what did she hit him in like a corridor? It felt like put him in a closet. Like if we're hiding him, hide him in a closet or some shit. Like
Yeah.
I didn't quite. I don't know. Like it's just like there was the emotional beats were almost never there.
Hmm.
That they wanted, and I think you're right. It's because they kept cutting. It would like cut to something completely like whatever, and it's like no, just like stay on this. Let this like finish.
Yeah. Because I feel like, oh no, go for it. Go ahead.
So I was gonna say, even the gay guys, Big John, Little John, I think that scene would have been better if when those kids are outside and someone like the door shuts, if that was Michael getting to the house and
Yeah.
like they're like trying to save these kids, right? And that's why they like maybe go in or some shit. It's because there's like kids there and they're like, oh, we can't let these kids get killed by Michael. That
Mhm.
would have been a cleaner, like, all right, that's why they're going inside. That's why, like, I don't know. And then it's just like we cut to that, and then like what? We don't see them for like 20 minutes or some shit.
It's like so stupid, yeah, and especially going back to those gay guys, I guess, right? It's like,
I love how much you hate them.
oh my god, I don't like them because it's just like I couldn't tell if we were supposed to be taking them seriously at all because that's a problem I had with a lot of the movies. Like, what parts am I supposed to take serious here,
Right.
and what parts are like supposed to be a little bit campy? Because it doesn't feel like a movie that should be campy or that they
Right.
intended
Yeah.
to be campy, but it was, and it was a little hokey. And like when they get their knives and stuff, and they're like slowly like,
And their knives are like this big.
it's like fucking stupid. And like the way they're moving, like I don't know if that's a moment that's supposed to be bringing the tension. It just looks like stupid. It looks ridiculous. I did like Karen locking the guy in the little corridor. I liked her being that champion of like,
No, yeah, I
guys,
did
you
love-
guys
yeah.
are fucking insane.
Like I said, Karen and Lindsay Wagner, only people that like had any brains. And I
Lindsay
thought,
Wagner.
wait, isn't that
Lindsay Wallace?
Wallace?
Ian.
Wallace. And I thought that Kyle Richards, and
Yeah.
Judy Greer gave like the best performances of the movie.
Yeah.
And like they really were genuinely great in the movie. I wish they had been great in a better movie. And I was surprised. I was curious what you thought about this because it was really weird. It felt like they had Kyle Richards. She was like, I can do 3 days on set. That's it. Because like they like haul her off in that wheelchair and you don't see her again. You see everyone else.
And you
again
know
the
what's
rest of the
fucking so
movie.
fucking funny? And I thought this was funny, and my husband didn't find it funny, but I thought it was hilarious that they like put her in a wheelchair and say, "Take her to the emergency room," and she goes and gets like her own hospital room. Well, okay, there's a lot of people here. There's a lot of beds that are going really fast. She was fine. She was okay.
Yeah. She didn't get stabbed.
She was dirty and she had a little bloody nose. It's okay. She's fine.
But like, right, it's weird that they like push her off and it's like, nope, we're gonna see her again.
She
next
was on the way
season.
to the Housewives reunion,
Yeah.
you know. But during her like chase scene, I kept thinking of whatever. Did you don't watch the Beverly Hills Housewives, do you? There you must have seen.
Wait,
this
is that the
clip
season
online,
she's
though.
on? Is that the season she was on?
She's been like in all of it.
But I mean, she's in
Oh
Beverly
yeah,
Hills,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Beverly.
Okay,
Hills,
yeah, because I've seen a lot when I used to live in New York. A friend that I used to hang out with, we would always like pre-game where he'd put on that was his favorite housewife. So I've seen a lot of her and her sister fighting.
There's a scene of like after like some big dinner table brawl, she like takes off running out of the door.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I fucking kept thinking of this. Like this is just fucking Kyle Richards. But I don't think that like it was only a 3-day thing because it feels like she was genuinely happy to be there.
Yeah,
Like,
but I mean, she might have had scheduling legitimately.
probably.
Like
Okay.
she wanted to be there, but like the housewives were like, no, you gotta shoot tomorrow. So she's
I
like,
know,
fuck,
right.
this is all I can do. You know what I mean?
Fucking
Because
Lisa
that would be
Rinna.
that would be the contract she had first, right?
Mhm.
And like they would have to work around that. So not even like she would be like, I don't want to be like, I can't.
Yeah.
It's like if you get another job, like, oh, I want to do both these things, but you can only do one. Because like it was weird. I mean, I'm glad she wasn't there for the end because they probably would have just killed her if she was.
Mhm.
And I'm glad we at least have a capable character who we liked in this one to can come back for the next one. Yeah, and I thought she got maybe like the best chase scene.
Yeah.
Because like you and I said, that car scene was stupid because everyone just the way they died felt kind of dumb. But I was glad that she got to be like, because a lot of the scenes it was just like Michael is murdering you. There's not like a chase. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
he's got to find you. It's like you're just like bumbling around your house and Michael's waiting to stab you with a light bulb. But like I thought that she actually did get like a legit chase scene. Um, I kept thinking of like Simon Geller, and I know you did last summer. So I was like, oh, cool. Like I like this. I was just so like still leftover mad at the way the like Vanessa in her nurse outfit killed herself and Marion dying. But I did
Yeah.
like that, like she got to run through the woods and she got to like hide from Michael, which is the smart thing to do.
Yeah, like don't try to like she tried to face him when she thought maybe her friends were still alive, but like
Right. Which,
clearly
okay.
when they're not, you hide.
She was like, all right, I'm going to go.
I didn't
Like,
even mind him like attacking everybody in the car, like if like I get it if like they're literally trapped in the car and he's reaching over the seat and just stabbing you, like you can't do anything. You can like try to crawl out, but you can't really do anything. That would have been fun, but like it's like the way everybody kind of like boom, 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 boom.
yeah.
It's like weird, like you shoot a gun and like spits off of things.
Right.
It's like
Yes.
yeah. Lindsay
Because
was
also, I thought like Marcus, listen, Marion's dead. That old lady's dead. Just get out of that car. Why are you trying
yeah.
to strangle him with this stupid like whatever? Just
Mhm.
go. Your wife's outside. Just get your wife and go running. Like
She fucking ran. She was out. And you know what? They had enough time to die that she could have shot him in the back at some point. She could have
right.
been some sort of hero, but she was like way gone. Lindsay, I really, really want them to bring her back from kills. I'm glad they kind of like realized, hopefully, that like she brought something really good to the movie. And,
Yeah, because she
um,
did.
and I hope they bring her back for something else too, because she just like fits. She fits just naturally. And Kyle Richards, she's a housewife, but she's not getting a bunch of acting gigs. She's
Right.
here. She's available. Um,
Yeah, like
so
I could see her being in like another horror movie, right? Like
yeah, and like, I mean, I don't know. It's like so weird. Like, where are they gonna go with the next one, right? I really hope they lean into like the spirit of Halloween haunting Haddonfield. Like people are fucking terrified. People are like, we haven't seen anybody really move on. People are just everybody's genuinely scared, like Lori was in the first one.
yeah.
That would be really nice. What else we got? What else we got?
I mean I know this isn't like a new thought, but the town of Haddonfield felt like when they were like, no, we are the law. I was like, ooh, they're about two steps away from saying like, don't take away my freedom. The wearing a mask is a hoax. They all
Yeah,
felt very, which
yeah.
I don't know if you recall was a thing I had with the 2018 one.
So this was a thing that like Ian didn't like. Ian didn't like Lori being very very pro gun and like pro like she's got her house in the woods. She goes hunting and drinks her strawberry milk. I don't mind that. I'm fine with that. I like it. I like Lori Strode armed with like a shit ton of fucking guns. By the way, when it was fucking hilarious that Michael like hid in her gun closet to like escape the fire.
I didn't realize what I was like. I don't know what that is, but sure,
Yeah,
fine.
that's where all her guns are. I thought that was funny. But like, yeah, no, I like because it feels that's what I've always thought of Haddonfield as, right? Like this is a Midwest town. They probably do have a shit ton of guns. Um,
They
there
just all
was
felt very MAGA to me.
yeah, and I think this was even filmed before like all
Right.
of the 2020 like rioting and like all of it. So it's interesting how that kind of started to parallel a little bit. Um, I didn't mind it. I still think the mob mentality and the way everybody was kind of freaking out. I was really happy with that. Um, and then there's a shot in the trailer of like Lori walking out of the
Right. We
hospital,
never got
right?
that.
We didn't get that. I think they changed their minds because I think my theory is that maybe like the third one was going to take place the same night, and they were like, we got to speed it up. We got to bring it back 2022 or something like that. Um, and so hopefully maybe they do that and just I don't know.
So when Adam Sass and I were talking on the phone, he said that he was like, I think that was the original ending. And like
Hmm.
Judy Greer saw the movie and was like, here's $2 million. Please kill me at the end of the movie. I don't want to be in these anymore.
Oh my gosh, she would have been good. She would have been really good. I
I
don't
will
know.
I will say also Laz tweeted today, like, oh, I watched with Ian X Carlos, like he tagged me in a tweet. Oh boy. Immediately Halloween stands were like, oh, even name something that's a mess. What does even that mean? No one can
Yeah.
explain what messy means. It's like, oh, fuck you. You know what a mess means. Like,
This is the thing, is like, I am a die-hard
yeah,
Halloween fan. I fucking love this franchise. I even love this movie just because we got a Halloween film in the theater. Like, how fucking cool was that? You know, that like this franchise was at one point like about to go straight to DVD.
right.
And we're sitting here with Laurie fucking Strode watching a Halloween movie in the theater, and there's gonna be another one confirmed, and like, it's cool. But I can point out when something's really fucking messy, and it seems like, maybe there was so much going on in the story that they kind of, while they were making it, got confused and confused themselves a little bit, and they're like, where are we supposed to be right now in continuity? Or like, I could see that. I could see that. But like, it's okay, everybody, to point out what's shitty here, and that this is
Yeah.
not the best movie. It definitely feels like a middle chapter. It definitely, and we knew that. And it definitely feels like a movie that's like playing into an overall story. So I'm hoping that the third chapter of this story is going to be like, I'll even love this one to death if the next one is really, really good. I'll watch them all three back to back. But like, I had to really step back from like social media because people are getting insane. They're getting as crazy as this like fucking hospital mob, It's like wild. And it's because like diehard Halloween fans do not want anything bad said about this. Guys, we're getting a third movie already. It's gonna happen. This, negative reviews for this one are not gonna do anything bad. It's just not.
Yeah, no, it's just, yeah, everyone like relax. I mean, like, I ranked Buffy season saying, oh, like, but all the seasons are great, and people still got mad at me. So like, people, the extreme fans of shit are going to be mad at like anything anyway. What did you think of the beatdown at the end?
Okay, the beatdown at the end, I did really enjoy that. I enjoyed like Karen grabbing the mask. It seemed like, and you know what was great about that is that it wasn't just Karen stabbing him in the back and then like curb stomping him onto the fucking stairs.
But good for her.
It didn't feel like she was doing anything just like accidentally. It seemed like she had a purpose that whole time, grabbing the mask, taking off running. Like, there was a fucking plan, and I liked that. If you're gonna mob up, if you're gonna like beat down this killer, have a plan. They show up, everybody's comes out of their houses. Somebody's got an iron. Did you see the lady with the iron? Like, fucking go for it. Fine, amazing. And I like seeing that they beat him down. I did really enjoy that. What I didn't enjoy, because while they were beating him down, we were getting these really cool wide shots. We were seeing what was happening, and then when he comes back up, it's all close up, and you don't see shit. Like, you killed Sheriff Brackett in like a close up of
second,
like here,
yeah.
of like here. And like, if you're going to make Michael get up and start killing everybody very unrealistically, fucking fine, but show it to me, Let me see his ninja flips and whatever the fuck he's doing. I want to see it.
Because the beatdown scene, I was like, ooh, I like this. It reminded me of Death Proof. I love that shit. I love a comeuppance. I love an ending with like a good villain getting a fucking comeuppance. And I was like, ooh, they're kind of getting me with this, because I was like, oh, he's gonna fucking murder all of them. This isn't gonna work. She got her cool gotcha. She got to say gotcha, but like, this isn't gonna work. He's gonna kill all of them. And then I was like, oh shit, it's working. I do like this. And then very quickly they were like, no, it didn't work. He's gonna murder all these people. And like you said, like Sheriff Brackett's death, it was like, oh, that's a very important character that just like died unceremoniously. Didn't even fucking matter.
Even Tommy, like, they built Tommy up to be this big character, and he like, we like barely saw any of that, Give us these wide shots, like really give us something. Like, if
it was weird, right?
Like, they even did that with the fireman. Like, we saw him like flipping firemen around. Do that,
right, yeah.
Do something, If he's got like I don't know, like a little missile or something, like, like whatever you want to do, just commit to it and like do it really well, because it felt like that was more of an afterthought that they shot maybe.
Right, it felt like a later shot. Yeah,
it didn't even feel like they were on set at that point. So I wonder if that was shot later.
Because like, I liked the way his beatdown was shot. It reminded me of fucking Death Proof, and that's like one of my favorite endings to anything. And I was like, fuck, is this how this movie's gonna end? Like, I liked this. Like, I like, it would have made me like the movie. I wouldn't have hated it as much if it ended with like this fucking beatdown. knowing that like he's still gonna come back next year, motherfuckers. Like we're getting another movie.
Hmm.
So I thought that's what it was gonna happen. That like, okay, they are winning. They're seemingly I did think Karen was gonna like pick up an axe and chop off his head. I thought that was gonna be like the last beat since we got so many callbacks to other movies, but not really H2O. I was like, oh, Karen's gonna pick up an axe and fucking
Yeah.
chop his head off. But yeah, I don't know. Like it felt like they were like so also the thing I
Yeah.
want to talk about is the scene before that, in the house. I got annoyed at Lonnie being like, I'm gonna go in by myself because it's like, well, you're just going to die. And then him dying like off screen
Yeah.
felt a little cheap since
Like,
we like
call
focused on him.
somebody and tell them to meet you at the house and, like,
Right.
all y'all go in. Because I get maybe you don't want the two teenagers going
Right.
in. Like, fine. But it seemed like he knew better than to go in there by
Yes.
himself. And that was, I don't like, if we're building Michael up to be this evil that we monologue about every 30 minutes, and, like, nobody's going in. Nobody's
Right.
going in
Like
by themselves.
at this point, they kind of know he's like not human, whatever that
Yeah.
means. But like, right, like Lonnie would know that, like, oh no, this like serial killer is kind of not really human. So like,
Hmm.
yeah, bring some like buddies at least, not like you with a gun by yourself when like we know a gun doesn't
I
do shit.
Yeah, and I also I really enjoyed Cameron and Allison in this movie. I thought they were really good. I liked them together. Like, I thought they were a cool couple. I kind of wish after she'd fallen down the stairs and Michael like stabbing Cameron and, like, breaking his hand, that maybe like Allison's like roll down the stairs, and Cameron rolls down the stairs, and they're like, crawling
Together,
together
yeah.
maybe, or like end up in a corner, just cornered or something, like, um it would have, like, that would have been a good place to insert a sort of chase.
Yes, there weren't enough like. Okay, so this brings up another issue that I have that I don't know that this will be an issue you had. I prefer a chase to like a brutal gore, and it felt like we got more brutal gore than like a
Hmm.
chase. And I don't mind if it's like that chase ends brutally, but it felt like there was too much of like Michael just brutally murdering, and there was no chase. There was no. It was just Michael's there. He's gonna, and the way Cameron's death felt so prolonged.
Yeah.
I was like, isn't this kid dead yet? Like the way he like smushed his neck up and down like 85 times. I was like, he's not dead. Like I thought Michael was gonna pop his head off at that point when he's like walking down the steps and looks at him.
Hmm.
Cause like he had stabbed him right on the like banister.
Did he stab him? I wasn't sure if he
I
stabbed
thought
him
there
or
was
not.
like
I thought
pieces of wood that he was stabbing him on.
he might have been. I thought he was literally just like breaking every fucking bone that he had in his
Like
that
it felt,
region.
and I know this is stupid to say for Hart, but it felt like a little bit cruel. Some of the deaths, like Cameron, the one gay guy, and the wife, the like older wife, who's one of the first murders,
Yeah.
all felt like particularly cruel. And like I don't know, because like we're watching horror movies, we both
Yeah.
love horror movies. Like I don't like I have trouble like putting into words why that bothers me, as opposed to like we do watch movies with like cruel deaths, and I think maybe it's at the like there was never stakes. It was just murder. There were like the stakes were these people are going to get murdered. How bad will it be?
Hmm.
And I need like a little bit different stakes. I don't know. Does that make sense?
No, it does, because this is like, also remember, this is the middle chapter movie. This is supposed to be. I think that's what a lot of critics said, among the premiere, right? Is that it felt like an unfinished movie, and all of the deaths in this one feel like they would be the deaths that would show you how bad he can be, but like they're still bookended and like kind of filled with like real chase and real suspense, and like, so I understand. I don't really care. I didn't care too much that this is how he was gonna be now. Like, show us how brutal he was and stuff like that. I just would have preferred at least one more chase, like a really good chase, because even like at the end, like with Laurie Strode, she was kind of chasing Michael, right? Like, she was chasing Michael around her house, and that was good. Like, I counted that.
Yeah.
That was a chase.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
But we still didn't have anything outside of Lindsay, and Lindsay didn't even really get her own score for her chase. She
Right,
didn't
yeah.
really get a
It was still
lot.
fairly quick.
It was
yeah.
good, but it was
Yeah.
a lot. It was like a timed, we run to the other side of the park real fast, and we'll film
Right,
you
yeah.
and make it look like you're running a far distance. Because I'm pretty sure I could still see the swing set from where she was. I don't know, man. Yeah, I didn't mind how brutal it was. I think cruelty in horror movies is something that I'm not super. I don't really get hung up about unless it's like not in line with everything else.
Well, because like and I think you and I've talked about this, like we're not
Yeah.
into torture porn.
Hmm.
And I think at some points the violence bordered on torture porn because like how long is he knocking this teen boy's head
Hmm.
into this banister and or maybe stabbing him? I assume there was like shards of wood, but it was
Yeah.
like, all right, like the dude's dead. Like fucking
Well, Michael
relax. And then he wasn't
Myers,
dead.
yeah, Michael Myers is. I'll counter that here. If there are any fucking Halloween fans still listening, I'll give it a little defense. Michael Myers is somebody who definitely likes to play and likes to. Um, he won't just like kill you while you're just not engaged with him. In the first one when he dressed up in the sheet, like Linda thought her boyfriend was killing him. If you really think about that, Linda thought her own boyfriend was killing her at that moment, right? That was the last thing that he saw in her eyes while she was dying. Allison watching her boyfriend get fucked up, like Michael knew she was watching. He's like, he knows this stuff. Whenever the older woman, she's watching her husband like get stabbed to the table, and like he leaves her alive, like
But like,
he's
okay,
causing
so
pain on purpose.
my counterpoint to that
Okay.
would be none of those murders were that bloody and brutal and cruel.
Mhm.
Like it's just like he does the murder. It's not like he kind of kills you. He like drags you somewhere else, kind of kills you again, doesn't kill you, drags you
Mhm.
somewhere else, then bashes your head in, doesn't kill you, then breaks your neck. Like that's what bothered me. Because if like, and this team has said it a million times about the first movie, they understood it. It wasn't gory, right? It's just
Yeah.
not.
Uh, effects budget, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's the answer. Is that some scenes got more budget than the others, Ian?
But you know what I mean? Like in
Yeah,
that first
no,
movie, he does just like he kills them. He's like he will play around with the person that he's like chasing,
yeah,
but like the killing isn't like ooh, like
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Mm.
In the later ones, he does get a little bit more creative.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess that's like
I think
that's the thing I kept thinking of, like in Hostel or Saw, and like I do like some of the Saw movies, but like sometimes it's like, all right, like I feel like I get it. I don't need.
Yeah.
I don't know, but like I can see where that like might not bother someone. I don't know.
Yeah, I
And
think that might just come down to like personal taste, right? Is like some people don't like the prolonged like kill scene that's like super ultra gory, but then there are Hostile fans, right?
right,
Um, I don't know. It's overall like I did really like it the second watch. I thought the second watch it allowed me to like watch it and look for all of the things I've really liked about it, because like Jamie Lee Curtis, even her being on screen, like I really enjoy her being on screen. Give her fewer lines. She didn't need as many lines. I also laughed when she like shoved the needle in her ass and like howled. She like screamed. Like that's cringy.
yeah, I was like, all right, what like. I get a needle every fucking week, like for my
Yeah.
allergies. Like it's fine. You just
Do you
put
do
it in
that?
regular.
Do you go,
Like,
ah!
yeah.
um, I really liked. I didn't. Jamie Lee fucking Curtis, man, she fucking kind of spoiled that Hawkins was alive. She posted it on her Instagram.
Oh really?
Just like a picture of her and Hawkins sitting together, and everybody, like, there were a couple people in the comments like, "You fucking spoiled that, what?" But I'm okay with him being alive, because I feel
Yeah.
like, especially going into another movie, they kind of got to start setting up her personal life a little bit. We got to, because we're gonna have to see some character development there, because her character development cannot only be she's been traumatized for 40 years, right? Like, we need more than that. And getting the kind of dialogue between her and Hawkins about, like, the night at the bar, and that they were hinting that he was like Karen's father, right? Is that a
Yeah.
did you get that?
I wasn't sure. I was like, is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah.
That I don't love, but
Mhm.
I did like the like I wish we could have gotten it in the first movie. I don't understand why we didn't, but I liked the idea of it being like, oh, this is a guy that she liked, even if he's not Karen's father, but it's like a guy that she like maybe had hooked up with, or like they liked each other and like whatever. I like. I just wish that had been like even an ounce of addressing in the previous movie.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, what would you do with Laurie Strode here? Because, I mean, she really can only sit in the fucking hospital. Like, what do we do with her?
Well, see, this is when I go back to H2O,
Yeah.
because they gave her stuff to do. Like
Yeah.
they gave her a life that was like oh, also I'm terrified and traumatized, but there's like she's the headmaster at this private school, and like,
Mhm.
that they like gave her shit to do. Um, yeah, I don't.
So during the sorry to cut you off.
Yeah,
What were you saying?
like, go ahead. I don't know.
Okay. During the big mob, scene at the hospital where they're chasing that guy down and stuff, she's in a lot of that. She's in a good bit of that, and then they like take her back to her room. It would have been cool maybe had she like, because she couldn't have followed the mob because she was too injured and stuff. But maybe she like goes outside or something, like with everybody else, and she sees the guy, and maybe she fucking yells at everybody like, "What the fuck is wrong with you guys?" Like, give Jamie Lee Curtis something to do.
Yeah.
Give her something real cool. Her end monologue about him transcending should have been at the beginning when we see him like emerging from the house or something, maybe, or stick that at the end and like let us close with that real fast. And like let that be the only monologue. We don't need any more.
I would say the monologues didn't bother me as much as they bothered you.
They really bothered me. Cause like everybody had a monologue. Everybody. Fucking Tommy Doyle doesn't need a monologue, and he still had monologues. Like we don't need it. It's okay.
It didn't bother me as much just because I guess I felt like it needed a little more characterization, but we still didn't really get it in these monologues. The monologues were, it goes back to Midnight Mass, right? The monologues are about, lots of times were about like the story and not
Mhm.
developing the character. And I don't need a character telling me what the story is because I fucking am watching the story. Like, give me maybe one that's a metaphor. Okay, cute, but I don't need more than that.
Yeah.
Um, and if we're gonna make me waste time listening to a monologue, I do want it to be like developing the character, not the
Yeah.
story.
Absolutely. You know what this like you kind of hit on this just a second ago is that the movie kind of treats us like we're stupid a little bit. You know that? Like with the amount of flashbacks and like explanation and why. It's cuz they, you know, let us go on the ride with you. Don't sit us down in a chair, but they really treated us like we were fucking stupid. Um
Because
I didn't
we didn't, and I know you kind of liked it, but we didn't need the Lonnie flashback. Like,
yeah.
he saw him. Okay, like we he that could have just been like Lonnie is a person we know. So great, there he is. He was in the town when that
Yeah.
happened. That's enough reason for someone to like know who Michael Myers is, right? Like you lived in the town when it happened. You are scared of this person. That makes sense.
It was also like, why do we need Lonnie Lamb? Because I didn't remember him that much from the first movie. I knew who he was, but like, I don't fucking like. Did we need him in the movie? Like, you could have
Right.
cut him out of this movie and had Lindsay and Tommy running around together the whole time. Like that would have been even cool.
I do think that's a weird missed opportunity that we have these two characters who begin the movie together and then they're separate for the rest of the movie when like we know them as like being like with Laurie. Like
Hmm.
that was a weird choice to separate Lindsay and Tommy if we're bringing back these two like characters that were children who were like scared together in the first
Hmm.
movie.
And like clearly had kept up with each other, right? They were
Yeah.
clearly friends and very comfortable with each other. And I really enjoyed the way they were all kind of introduced in the beginning. Like they all decided to get
Like
together,
hang out and
and
get
go to the bar.
drunk.
I
Yeah.
thought it was stupid that somebody was telling them to be quiet at a bar. It's like,
Yeah.
really? Nobody's doing that. Nobody's
I,
doing that.
I did think so. I did think that was stupid. And I did think it was also stupid that at a talent show, he gets up and is like, 40 years ago, Michael Myers
I
murdered everyone in
know,
this
I
town. It's like,
know.
this is a talent show. What are you doing, dude?
I
Like,
know. Like, if that's what it's gonna be, just have him like take the mic from somebody. Be like, "Can I just say something real quick before
right.
the
Yeah.
next one?" Or like, there's ways to get in there, man. It's just like I don't know. Nobody acts like any of this. Nobody acts like this. Oh,
Do
they
you,
just introduced cool stuff and then they didn't
do
do
you think
anything with it.
Marion did like nothing because she's like older, maybe?
Possibly, that's possible. But also, you put her through a whole car murder scene. Like, let her go home. Here, Marion,
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
going to take you home. You obviously can't go, like, hunting in the mob tonight.
Right. Like,
I
take
don't.
grandma home.
I want to see, talk about something. I'm going to look her age up because I want to see how old she is compared to.
That was a thing Adam Sass said on when we talked on the phone. He was like, I know that it's like these people want to get Michael, but even think of like Buffy season 7. There's a scene of people leaving town. They don't
Hmm.
even really acknowledge that they all know what's going on, but there are people leaving. There should have been a scene in that bar where half the people are like, all right, I'm gonna go get my kids and I'm gonna leave because it's time to
Oh,
go.
and there were moments where like she's 10 years older than Jamie Lee Curtis. So yeah, take her home. She does
Yeah,
not need to die tonight.
yeah. Don't make her hunt.
She did not choose to stock her house with weapons and make it a fortress. Like she clearly watches Real Housewives of Beverly Hills on the weekends. But yeah, like what you were just saying is what were you what did you just say?
About how Adam said, like, how even in Buffy we see people leaving town, and there should have
Yes.
been like a
And it would have been great to get like a kind of montage of people locking their fucking doors and pulling their
yeah.
kids inside. You know, we've had that in other horror Halloween movies, like Halloween 4. They, parents pulling their kids off the streets. Like, do something like that.
Because that makes sense. Like that makes sense that people
Mhm.
would also that everyone would get the information, especially in like okay, it's not in 2021, but it's in 2018. They would get the information pretty quickly
Mhm.
that like that is happening. So like that does track. Like you said, a lot of people just weren't acting the way people would act. And I do think, right, there would have been people
Yeah.
that would have been like, I don't want to hunt because I got a family. So let me bring my family inside, lock all the doors, or like go to our like in-laws house for the weekend. Like,
Yeah. Well, like we just needed to see. And also see like a build up, right? Is because it did seem like we kind of dropped into everybody at a 10 already. Like everybody was very like
yes.
fucking something happened in that town the day before that. People were fucking ready to go to bat for.
They
You
were.
know? This was not all about Michael Myers and you won't convince me it is. The sheriff, I liked the sheriff, but they like sat him down on a step at the end of the movie and left him there, you know? Um I won't even shit on that. You know, maybe that was just taking him out of the movie. What do we like? Let's bring some positivity in here.
I liked Lindsay.
Hmm.
I thought I was very impressed. Like Kyle Richards, like be in more horror movies. You're good at this.
Yeah. Oh my god, I wish. But like, these fucking horror movies have such a stigma, and I
I
wonder
know.
if she would do it other than it being like her legacy character. You know. Um, but
Right.
she
Because you're
fucking
right. They do.
should. Like, she's good, and I like her bangs.
She looked, and another thing I will give her credit for is because I've seen Lisa Rinna in other things, and Lisa Rinna just looks like a real housewife, right?
Yeah.
Like no shade, no like shaming anyone for their surgeries or whatever, but like there's a point when like you look like a cartoon version of someone and like it doesn't work. Like even if you're a good actor, if you look, it's like when Cher's in things, they can't have Cher play like,
Yeah.
oh, this like down on her like money, you know, depressed old lady, because that's not how she looks. And so
Hmm.
like I was worried about that with Kyle Richards, but Kyle Richards, I guess, doesn't have a lot of like, she doesn't look like she's had a lot of like surgeries done.
And
So
also,
she can
like,
fit into
yeah.
something like this, right?
Yeah, yeah, and also like she just seemed like she was fucking game, man. Like, and if they wanted to like glam her, she was
Yeah.
sounding seemed like she was down for it, and I just loved that. I loved her sort of spirit about this whole thing. You know, she even showed up to the premiere all dressed up in like a costume. Like it was
Yeah. I mean,
cool.
I agree with you. She seemed like she was 100% down and like had fun.
Yeah, so like bring her back for the next one. Where would you go from here? I think that's a good
So we
conversation to
know
kind of
that
get
it's set,
into.
it'll be set in the year it comes out, right? That's like,
I don't know that for sure. They said we'll time jump a little bit, but I don't think it said it by how much.
okay. So I guess if we're like sticking to like that, we know there's a time jump. I don't know. All right. So are we doing like ambitious, like our own rewrites
You
or
do your own
right?
rewriting, okay? Danny McBride just got fired. You're taking his
Right.
job.
Danny McBride is like, wow, I didn't do that great of a job. I need your help, Ian Carlos Crawford, host of Slamfest 98.
Slipped in
And I
those
say,
DMs.
great. So Karen dreamed that. That was a hallucination. She did not fucking die at the end in a really lame death. That was like, you look out that window and you feel Michael the way they fucking talked about 800 times. Sure, we're already going with that. We got to keep it going. So, like, that is like when you stand there, that's why the other cop paused and got killed. Like, when you stand in that spot, you just feel Michael's presence.
Mhm.
And so, like, Karen, it's like however many years later they want it to be. Karen is now on board with her mother's craziness because Michael has disappeared after he murdered everyone in that beatdown. He just disappeared. And it's Halloween, however many years later. Lindsay and like Lori are like kind of cool now again because they don't really like interact much in the movie. So maybe we like learn that they are like friends. Lori has maybe chilled a little bit, like take her down a little bit, but like the granddaughter and her daughter are a little bit more on board instead of
Mhm.
being like grandma's crazy. Um, and it'd be like everyone's kind of like come to terms with like Michael Myers is real, Michael Myers is unkillable, he will come back eventually because he disappeared after the last movie. And this is however many years later, everyone's on edge. There should be a dialogue where people are talking about how many people left town, right? Because they know he's coming back. And then he does come back. Yeah, I don't. I feel like at this point, it's like they got to let him just go sit in the Michael Myers house, let him look out that window, drop a bomb on the house, and then fill it with concrete, and like, and chop his head off, and then fill it with concrete.
Burn it to the earth and salt.
How would you do the next
No,
movie?
I like that one though, and I think that would lead into a really good like kind of commentary on like who decides to leave town, and like some people you just can't, like you can't leave, you know,
Right.
your whole life is there and you can't afford to leave. Like that would be a good commentary to kind of put in there. um I think Karen's still dead. I'm gonna leave Karen dead. I loved her in this one, but I don't want to retcon that. I think after she dies, his body, so Michael's body's still there. Michael's body is physical, it's tangible, everybody like can touch it and like whatever. um but like everybody's dead around his body, and his body's still over in the street, two streets over.
Wait, so
Some
he's in the house and in the street? There's two
mhm,
bodies?
yes.
Okay.
So Michael's physical body is there. He is now the spirit of Halloween. So that was him as the spirit of Halloween. He killed Karen. Somebody goes upstairs and finds her, and that's like our opening, right? It's like an emotional beat of an opening or whatever, as maybe it turns like Halloween ends or something like that. And then we jump forward in time, um, and yeah, I don't even know like where I would kind of go with that. I just know that it would be like the spirit of Halloween, and he would come back every Halloween, and maybe um, Lori's like, I know he's coming back. I know he's coming back, and nobody kind of believes her again. And they like dig the body up. They show her like this is his body. He's like here. He's here, and he still comes back, even though his body's like in the earth and stuff like that. And he just that's Michael Myers now. You know, he is the legend. He's become the myth. He's become the thing that's in the wind on Halloween night every
Do you
whenever.
think do you think, and I do think this, do you think Halloween ends is going to end with Laurie and Michael both dying? Because I think,
Yes,
like what she said, I think has to be what how it ends.
I do. I hope not. I think it would be even better to, because it's her facing her own like sort of everything, right? Like that's always been Laurie Strode's kind of arc, and I think it's better to leave her be and let her go on with her life. Like she's Laurie Strode died in 20 years anyway. Just let her go and die of old age. Um, I think there's gonna be some big showdown. She's gonna die. It's gonna be some big thing. I wouldn't kill her in mine. I would have her maybe burn the whole fucking town down or something. Like get people to fucking leave, and then maybe she's driving out of town. You know, her and Allison.
That Zachary, that's cute. I like that you went for like a happier ending
I
with her.
usually
Because I
don't like
mean,
those.
I know you don't.
Laurie
Can tell
Strode.
how much you love Laurie Strode.
Laurie Strode's got this will be 13, the 13th Halloween movie she's gonna be in. Or not that she's gonna be in, but just the 13th in
Okay, I was
general.
like, wait, she's not been that many.
But she's been in a shit ton of them. So like, I think she's earned to survive. Um,
I mean, you know, I agree. I'm a fan of. I'm not
mhm.
a fan of killing the final girl.
Yeah, no, I think that's what I would do. Because you know, so in 2018, when you know everybody was trying to figure out like how Michael was gonna come back, if he was gonna be like a ghost or if he was gonna be you know somebody who like went missing on Halloween night, like however that was gonna happen. There was a there was a script a while ago before 2018 was in development, called Halloween Returns, and that one I would highly suggest you read that script because it was really good, and it like picks up with because I guess Laurie Strode they figured Laurie Strode wasn't going to be in it, so they like rewrote into the beginning a new final girl from that night.
Okay.
But like it picks up with her later, and she's like watching him be executed, and like right before he's executed, he like sees her sitting there or something, and he comes back and like breaks out, and then but at the end of the movie, um, they like know he's in a house or something, and they go in and they're gonna like get him or they're gonna kill him or something, and written on the wall is like um, this town will never be safe again or something like that, something really ominous. And I fucking love that idea, is that Michael's not after Laurie, he's just after everybody, and like he haunts this town, and I would love to see him as a fucking ghost actually haunting the fucking town, you know. So that's my rewrite. That's it. I would like you to watch it again at some point. I think you would like it on a second watch. I think you would appreciate it a little bit more because it is not a great movie, but I would say it's a good movie. It's a good movie. It's got goodness in there. It is it is a good movie.
You're not. I don't know that you're convincing yourself or
me. I just wish it was re-edited. I feel like there's a good movie in there. I think you say that a lot with a lot of things that we watch. Is that there's a good movie in there?
Yeah,
just re-edit it.
I can buy that. And I mean, the thing is, I do love seeing a horror movie, even a franchise like this, getting like, and I mean that the Scream 5 trailer looks like the same thing, like getting the budget that like they don't normally get, and like the production value that like, you know, you and I have talked about a lot of horror movies, the production value and budget that normally is reserved for like A24 horror movies, which you and I do like, but we also like these type of horror movies. And I think they also deserve the like backing and like time and like effort put into them rather than the way they were treated in like, you know, the 80s and 90s where it's like, put out the movie, we have $1,000, whatever. I like that being put into this type of movie. Because I don't know, do you agree with that? Like, I feel like normally it's like an A24 type horror that gets the budget, but like not.
That's honestly what I kind of wanted from 2018. It's like I even told you that I did like my own little like outline for a rewrite, and it was more along the lines of A24 because I feel like there's like you can do horror with that, and with it bringing it down to a smaller scale. And I kind of wish they would do that for this one coming up. I hope it's not like, I hope we're not following 20 characters. I hope we're not doing like too much. I hope it's a quieter movie.
Yes, I agree.
It's just, it's just wrapping up. Cause I don't know. I definitely think they fully intend to like make a shit ton of money on the next one and have the series continue. And I think
I know that's what I'm not looking forward to.
And I'm okay with it though. I'm okay with it. It's just like other stories, right? Like there's even Halloween comic books. Like there's one called Halloween Night Dance about like a dancer who's scared of the dark, and it's a really good comic book. And they could even make a movie about that, and just like not like stop referencing Laurie Strode and stuff like that. Bring Michael into other stories, you know, if you're gonna do it.
Well, I don't know. I'm
He
like,
said evil dies tonight.
I'm like, please let it die. Please don't make me sit through another one. I just, the thing is, I don't care. I mean, I said this before. The reason I never, until we started doing like the photos for this podcast, I never had any horror toys because like I love an action figure, but like I don't fucking care about the killers. Like the killers are just plot. The killers are a plot. I care about the characters, and I need to like actually care about the characters, not just like, well, we're watching people get murdered.
This was Michael's. This was definitely Michael's movie. This was the movie that they were going to show off like what Michael is becoming. And so whatever, it's okay. Just like continue that in the next one. What'd you think right before we kind of end this and wrap it up? What'd you think of Loomis? Because they brought Dr. Loomis back.
That was an actor. I saw that it was
exactly like him.
Yeah, I could not believe that was not digital. Like I genuinely just assumed. I was like, oh, this is well done.
Yeah.
Digital, because sometimes you can like when they do that, you know, you can kind of see like it looks a little weird. Mm-hmm. So I was watching it. I was like, wow, they did a really good job on this digital face. And then it was just an actor. Like
it was like a guy on set that somebody like was like, you look a lot like him. And so they kind of did that.
I didn't mind that. I didn't mind. I never mind that. Like if we're bringing back like, like it's a dead actor, but they're like kind of fudging it a little. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
I just thought all of that was like pretty unnecessary for me plot wise. Like I didn't understand why we had to see all of that. Because I guess they're trying to flesh out Hawkins as a character, right? Mm-hmm. But I just didn't care. And like, also I thought he was dead. So like, I didn't care.
We weren't thinking about Hawkins' arc for this movie.
Yeah. Like,
you know what was weird though?
Dead.
They had their 78 flashback in the beginning, which is great. I fucking loved it. I got so hyped seeing that in the theater. But then they brought it back and extended it. And it was like, cause when he was telling Lori that it could have ended that night, I could have ended it. I thought he meant you know, I missed the shot and
Right,
accidentally.
yes,
But
that's
then
what I
he's
thought he
like,
meant.
no, I saved Michael from getting shot. And it's like, what part? Why are we extending this now?
Yeah.
That was fine back there. Like, you missed the shot. You just had a shitty shot.
And that's an explanation, right? That's a
It is,
valid
but
explanation.
they're like,
as
not
to-
good enough. Not good enough.
Yeah.
Let's add another thing. And then the cops are corrupt. And it's like, I understand what we're doing here. Okay.
It was just
Cut it out.
like, we didn't need that.
Yeah.
And like, again, like all of that flashback is just like, I don't know, and that guy dead. What do I care?
Yeah.
And also that actor that played him in the flashbacks was too recognizable from other things that I was like,
Was he?
eh.
Oh, I didn't know.
Like I recognized him immediately because I think he was in Scott Pilgrim, maybe. He's been in a couple of things. And I just like, if we're having a flashback actor that's supposed to be a younger version of it needs to be someone I'm not recognizing.
Yeah.
Like I don't mind it. A lot of it I didn't need. I wish it had been more important. Like once we got that, I was like, oh shit, we're going to see him do a lot more murdering, but we didn't, which was weird. Like I thought they were doing that to be like, maybe add in like Michael was really brutal, but we just didn't see the ones that were as brutal from that first movie. Like I thought that's what they were going to do, but story wise, we didn't need it. I don't know.
It's okay. Whatever. I think we are more on the same page than not when it comes to this movie.
Which is very surprising.
Wanted to absolutely fucking love it. I knew it wasn't gonna feel like a full movie, so I don't give it any shit for that. You know, I knew it was a middle chapter. I give it shit for the way they, not even the story, it's the way they execute the story.
Because I don't think the like middle chapter blues don't bother me. Like I've seen plenty of movies that are like trilogies or whatever. That part doesn't bother me, and I don't think that was the issue. And I think you kind of agree that wasn't really the issue that like we had with the movie.
Yeah,
because a lot of people, that's like their defense of it. Oh well, it's a middle movie, so like it has to be a mess. But like no, it doesn't. Like, like that's not the issue I had. Was that like it's a middle part? It's the fact that the storytelling was a fucking mess. Like.
Focus on like 2 or 3 things, keep it really concise, really tight, and only stick with that, you know?
Yeah.
But like, who are we, right? We're the editors, the directors. We've made a million movies, so we know best, right?
We're two fags of the microphone.
We're 2 fags who bought the Myers house. Well, we thank you guys so much for checking this out. I hope you listened all the way through, and if you did, what'd you think of Halloween Kills? Leave it in the comments below, or like hit us up on social media. I love to be bashed and you know, gay bashed and bullied.
Don't talk
I love
to
it.
me.
Oh, throw insults at me.
If you love the movie, you hated this review, I don't care. Don't tell me.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your spooky season.
Bye.